another year at the Tribeca Film Festival. First of all, congrats.
Thank you.
How would you say this year's lineup compares to last year's?
They're always different. This year we have a lot more music, whether it's starting with the Apollo, Roger Ross Williams film about the Apollo, and we're going to be screening it at the Apollo, is very exciting, or Danny Boyle's movie at the that's closing the festival, which is also about a narrative about music. So it's and a lot of music, everything from Wu-Tang to Linda Ronstadt to Trey and Fish and a lot in between.
It's all there. So the Apollo Theater documentary is opening the festival at the Apollo Theater, which is so cool. And I understand that the film, of course, explores the rich history of the venue, but it also draws a connection between that history and the current struggle of the African-American community in today's political climate. Why did that feel like the most powerful way to kick off this year's festival?
Because we are in a situation in this country where you are seeing, there's sometimes you look and say, okay, are we better off than we were? And and you realize we're going backwards in a lot of things. And with an administration that race baits, is anti-Semitic, it is interesting to look at the world through music and sound and the artist and the artist struggle.
Right. What about for you? Why do you think Apollo was the perfect way to kick it off?
I think it's great. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm very curious to see it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's great for opening the festival.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
At the Apollo, too.
Definitely. Speaking of the political climate, I, of course, have to ask you about your recent performance as Muller on SNL. How did that come together, and what excited you about participating in that skit?
Well, I just, as I've said, just started saying today, but I've thought about it a lot. I consider it my civic duty to do that part.
It's like a form of activism in a way.
Yeah, I just to be there, because he doesn't say much, but he doesn't have to. And it's that simple. And I'd be happier the day that Mueller puts him in handcuffs, takes him in an orange jumpsuit, puts him away for a long time.
How much more of those skits can we expect from you as the 2020 election draws
I don't know. It's a good question. If Mueller testifies in front of Congress, then maybe there'll be some skits. Then we'll see. I don't know.
What was both of your reaction to when the summary of the report came out?
It's pathetic. It's
a bad cliff note.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. The Democrats are trying to do the right thing and say we're waiting for justice to come, and then it doesn't come, or it'll come in a way. Mueller presented it in a way that's up to us and Congress to make, come up with the results. But now it's being barred by bar, and that's to be seen now what Congress will do and how effective they're going to be. But I think there's going to be a lot of mass demonstrations, a lot of protests if this is not resolved. We have to know what went on. Right. We have to know. The handwriting's on the wall. These people are all crooks. They're all doing it before our very eyes. Trump obstructed justice all the time, first by firing Comey, and all the other things, and saying it on NBC with Lester Holt. I mean, what are we talking about? It's right before our eyes. Justice has to be served.
Right? Now, despite what the president or his followers may say or tweet about you and Saturday Night Live, what keeps you coming back to doing those skits? Like you said, it feels like an act of civic duty, but
yes.
In what ways does it really feel like a form of activism for you specifically?
Just to be present there, that's all. Just to be present. To represent, because to me and to many of us, Mueller represented justice, and he still does. He's been muted by Barr and what's going on, and by Republicans that I don't know what's happened in this country with the Republicans. I mean, the Republicans with Nixon didn't do this, but these Republicans are, and then we're not going to forget about them, because when later on in years to come, long after Trump is gone, there are going to be writers, as soon as any of these characters emerge in some way, they're going to remind us of all the things that these Republicans did during the time of Trump.
Right. Well, back to Tribeca. Robert, you're doing a talk with Martin Scorsese, which I'm really excited for. You're going to be taking us on a journey through all your collaborations from Taxi Driver up until The Irishman, which you're also a producer on, which is so exciting. What is it like working on that project together, and why did you want to tackle this story together?
It actually, it's a terrific book. And Marty and I were actually, and Jane were working on another script about a similar kind of subject, but a more kind of popular type thing. And then, so I read The Irishman, or I Heard You Paint Houses, as research, and which had come out about 2 years by this time, and I should have read it right away, but I didn't. And then I read it, and I said, Marty, you should read this book, because I think maybe this is what we should try and...
Of course, you said that when we were on a call with the studio, and they were about to give us a green light on the other movie. And it was Brad Gray, and everybody was on the phone, and he was ready to say, okay, guys, go make the movie. And Bob said, well, you know, there's this other thing that...
We were trying to, like, meld the two, but it really wouldn't make sense, you know, the story. And then, so then Marty, you know, got Steve Zalian, and who wrote what I think is a wonderful script. And anyway.
It was 2007.
Wow.
So we've been working on this. Steve delivered a script very quickly, but it took us a long time to get made, and through so many different iterations.
Well, I'm sure it's worth the wait. Robert, you play Frank Sheeran in the film, and I understand that the film covers a wide range of his life. And I saw that we're going to see a de-aged, younger version of yourself, assisted by CGI. Have you seen that version of yourself, and what do you think about it?
No, I think it's great. I've seen some of it. I'm going to see some more, actually, today or tomorrow. But no, it's great. They're really doing a terrific job on it. I'm anxious to see the whole thing put together.
Amazing, me too.
Yeah, it's pretty emotional when you see it.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for that. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.